I want you to pause for a moment and look at the device you are holding. You might think that an algorithm, a random code of zeros and ones, suggested this video to you. You might think you clicked on this title out of mild curiosity or boredom. But we need to establish a ground rule before we go any further. In the realm of the spirit, there is no such thing as a coincidence. There is only synchronicity. You are here because your soul recognized the title of this video before your conscious mind even processed it. There is a resonance happening right now, a frequency match between where you are and where you are meant to be. If you are watching this, it is because you have been feeling a very specific, very heavy pressure lately. It's a pressure that feels like you are wearing a suit of armor that is 2 sizes too small. I have been speaking with so many of you in our community, from 22-year-olds who feel paralyzed by the sheer volume of choices, to those of you in your 60s and 70s who feel a sudden urgent onset of time running out. The narrative is always the same. I feel like I am waiting for a train that is running late. I feel like I have a mission, but I have lost the dossier. You feel distinct, not in an arrogant way, but in a way that feels isolating. You look at the people around you, your colleagues, your old friends, even your family, and you feel like an observer. You watch them engage in small talk, you watch them stress over things that seem trivial to you, and you feel a profound sense of detachment. You might have even asked yourself, is something wrong with me? Why can't I just be happy with the status quo? I am here to act as a pattern interrupt for that self-doubt. That feeling of not fitting in, that is not a defect, that is a qualification. The chosen are rarely the ones who fit seamlessly into the machinery of society. They are the ones who disrupt it. You are feeling this friction because you are currently undergoing a spiritual upgrade that your physical reality hasn't caught up to yet. It is the law of synchronicity at work. The universe is cornering you. It is removing the distractions, the noise, and the false comforts to get your attention. Think about the last few months. Have they felt chaotic? Have you felt a strange mix of exhaustion and restlessness? This is not random bad luck. This is the knock on the door. Most people ignore the knock. They turn up the volume on the TV, they scroll faster, they drink more, they numb out. But you stopped, you clicked, you are listening. That singular act of stopping to listen is the first indicator that the call is for you. For the next few minutes, I want you to drop your guard. You don't need to perform here. You don't need to pretend you have it all figured out. In fact, your confusion is actually a requisite for the clarity we are about to uncover. We are going to walk through the specific signs that confirm you have been selected for a divine purpose, not a generic be a good person purpose, but a specific assignment that only your unique frequency can fulfill. This isn't about ego. It's about responsibility. If you are still watching, it's because you are ready to accept that responsibility. Let's look at the architecture of why this is happening to you right now. To understand the signs, we must first understand the spiritual logic governing your life right now. In the West, particularly in cultures driven by productivity like the US and the UK, we are conditioned to believe that progress must always look like more. More money, more friends, more visibility. But the logic of the divine often works in the inverse. Before God expands you, He strips you. You may be in a season that feels less like a promotion and more like a demotion. You might be experiencing what the mystics call the void. This is a period where the old doors have closed, but the new ones haven't opened yet. It is the hallway, and the hallway is dark. I want to introduce a concept that I've seen play out time and time again in the lives of the most powerful spiritual leaders and changemakers: divine pruning. In the Gospel of John, the metaphor of the vine is used. It says that every branch that bears fruit, the gardener prunes, so that it may bear more fruit. We love the idea of bearing fruit, but we recoil at the idea of the pruning shears. Pruning feels like loss. It feels like a relationship ending abruptly. It feels like a job layout. It feels like a sudden loss of interest in a hobby you used to love. If you have been feeling like pieces of your life are being cut away without your permission, this is not a punishment. This is the why now. You are being streamlined. A rocket cannot leave the atmosphere carrying heavy, useless cargo. You are being prepared for a trajectory that requires you to be light, aerodynamic, and focused. The universe is removing the dead weight, the habits, the people, and the mindsets that cannot survive at the altitude you are going to. Furthermore, we must address the silence. Many of you have commented on my previous videos saying, "I am praying, I am asking for guidance, but I hear nothing. Why is God silent?" I need you to reframe this immediately. Silence is not absence. Silence is incubation. When a seed is planted in the soil, it is surrounded by darkness and silence. If the seed had a consciousness, it might scream, "I have been buried. This is the end." But the gardener knows the seed hasn't been buried. It has been planted. The shell of the seed must break under the pressure of the dirt so the new life can emerge. You are in the incubation phase. The pressure you feel is the soil. The darkness you feel is the womb of creation. The why now is because the world is shifting. We are entering a time where authentic, spiritually aligned leaders are needed more than ever. The superficial structures are crumbling, and people are starving for truth. You were chosen for this specific timeline because your soul has the capacity to hold the light when others are panicking in the dark. But you cannot hold that light if you are still clinging to the false security of your past. This logic is hard to accept for the ego. The ego wants a 5-year plan. The spirit only gives you a flashlight that illuminates the next 3 feet. The signs we are about to discuss are the batteries for that flashlight. They are the confirmation that this uncomfortable, pruning, silent season is not a mistake. It is a manufacturing process. You are being forged. And as anyone who knows metallurgy understands, you cannot forge steel without heat and pressure. Let's move into the supernatural protection that has been assigned to you during this forging process, because you are certainly not walking through this fire alone. When we talk about being chosen, we must also talk about the opposition that comes with it. This is a topic many shy away from, but if we are going to be truthful, we must acknowledge it. When you carry a light in a dim room, you attract attention. Not all of that attention is benevolent. You become a beacon, and that can attract what I call energy vampires, people, situations, or chaotic forces that seek to drain your vitality. This is why the chosen are never sent out without an escort. In the hierarchy of spiritual protection, Archangel Michael is the primary guardian assigned to those with a heavy purpose. Now, whether you view angels as literal beings or as archetypes of higher universal energies, the function remains the same. Michael represents the archetype of the warrior of truth and the divider of cords. The sword of truth that Michael carries is not a weapon of violence, it is a tool of precision. I want you to visualize this sword for a moment. It burns with a sapphire blue flame. Its purpose is to cut the energetic cords that tether you to things that are no longer yours. One of the most profound signs that you are protected is the phenomenon of the near miss. Think back over your life. How many times should you have been in a car accident, but you looked up at the exact right second? How many times were you delayed from leaving the house, only to find out later you missed a disaster on the highway? How many times did a relationship you desperately wanted fall apart, only for you to realize years later that it would have destroyed you? That is the shield of Michael. When you have a specific divine purpose, you are asset protected. The universe has an investment in you. You are not allowed to be taken out by random chaos. However, this protection often feels restrictive to our human ego. We want to go to the party, but the car won't start. We want the job, but the application gets lost. We get angry. But in the spiritual view, that was the blue shield slamming down to prevent you from entering a room that would have poisoned your spirit. I want to share a visualization that I use and that I've taught to thousands in our community who feel overwhelmed by the world's energy. It is called the Michael cylinder. When you wake up in the morning, before you check your phone, before you let the news of the world infiltrate your mind, imagine a cylinder of electric blue light descending from the heavens and surrounding you completely. It goes 3 feet below the floor and 3 feet above your head. Inside this cylinder, there is perfect calm. It is the eye of the storm. Outside the cylinder, the wind may howl, the debris may fly, the chaos may churn. But inside, you are in a pressurized cabin of peace. When you are chosen, you are often an empath. You feel the pain of the world intensely. Without this shield, you become paralyzed by that pain. Archangel Michael's role is to act as your filter. He allows the information to reach you so you can act on it, but he blocks the infection of the fear attached to it. If you have been feeling a sudden interest in angels, or seeing the color blue repeatedly, or finding feathers, or seeing the name Michael, these are not hallucinations. These are signatures. It is your escort letting you know. I am here. The road is dangerous, but my shield is up. Keep walking. This supernatural protection is the prerequisite for the tangible, physical signs that are manifesting in your life right now. Let's look at the 5 specific evidence points you can see today. So how do we translate these high-level spiritual concepts into actionable evidence? If you have been chosen for a specific purpose, your physical reality will start to glitch. The matrix of your old life will begin to break down to make way for the new. Based on my work and observation, here are the 5 specific, relatable signs that you are in the transition phase right now. Sign number 1, the 3 a.m. wake-up call. You might call it insomnia. Spirit calls it the download hour. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., the veil between the physical and spiritual dimensions is at its thinnest. The static of the collective consciousness, millions of people thinking, worrying, and broadcasting mental noise, is quiet because most of the hemisphere is asleep. If you are consistently waking up at this time without an alarm and feeling wide awake, this is a sign. You are being woken up to receive instructions. Your spirit is being briefed. Don't reach for your phone. Don't turn on the TV. Keep a journal by your bed. Sit in the dark and listen. This is not a sleep disorder. It is a spiritual appointment. Sign number 2. A sudden intolerance for inauthenticity. This is one of the most painful signs. You used to be able to tolerate small talk, gossip, and superficial social climbing. You could fake a smile at a dinner party. But suddenly, you physically cannot do it anymore. When you are around people who are lying to themselves or others, you might feel a knot in your stomach, a headache, or an overwhelming urge to leave the room. This is because your frequency is rising. As you align with your divine purpose, which is rooted in truth, your tolerance for anything false hits 0. You aren't becoming antisocial. You are becoming pro-truth. You are craving death, and anything shallow feels like it is suffocating you. Sign number 3, the Tower moment, structural collapse. In the tarot, the Tower card represents sudden, chaotic change. This sign manifests as the collapse of your safety nets. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe your landlord is selling the house and you have to move. Maybe a long-term relationship ended out of nowhere. To the unawakened eye, this looks like disaster. But for the chosen, this is divine relocation. The universe is burning the bridges that lead back to your old life so that you have no choice but to move forward. If your life feels like it is falling apart, I want you to celebrate. It means the foundation is being cleared for a skyscraper. Sign number 4, digital and electrical interference. This sounds strange, but it is incredibly common among those stepping into power. Do streetlights flicker when you walk by? Does your phone freeze or battery drain rapidly when you are emotional? Does the Wi-Fi cut out when you are having a profound realization? We are bioelectrical beings. When your internal voltage increases due to spiritual awakening, it affects the electromagnetic fields around you. You are literally becoming a high-voltage generator. It's a quirky but very validating sign that your energy is shifting the physical environment around you. Sign number 5, a feeling of nostalgia for a place you've never been. The Germans have a word for it, Fernweh, far sickness, or a longing for a place you've never visited. But spiritually, this is a longing for your true home or your true state of being. You might look at the stars and feel a pang of homesickness. You might feel like you are visiting this planet rather than residing here. This is the ultimate sign of the chosen. You remember deep in your DNA that you are not of this world, even though you are in it. You are here on assignment. That longing is not meant to make you sad. It is meant to remind you of your origin so that you don't get too lost in the illusion of the material world. If you are nodding your head to these signs, the diagnosis is clear. You are active. The dormancy period is over. Now, what do you do with this information? We have identified the psychological hooks, the spiritual logic, the protection, and the physical signs. Now we arrive at the most crucial part of our time together, the directive. Knowing you are chosen is useless if you do not act on it. There is a trap that many spiritual people fall into, the trap of waiting. We wait for a burning bush. We wait for a letter from heaven. We wait for permission. I am here to tell you, you already have the permission. The The signs were the permission slip. The universe does not respond to your wishful thinking. It responds to your frequency. And the frequency of waiting is a frequency of lack. It says, I do not have it yet. So the universe gives you more not having it. To step into your divine purpose tonight, you must practice what I call the art of radical expectation. Radical expectation is the spiritual discipline of living from the end, not toward it. It means you stop acting like an applicant for your purpose and start acting like the CEO of it. If you knew with 100% certainty that your success was guaranteed, how would you walk into work tomorrow? How would you speak to your partner? How would you handle your finances? You wouldn't be anxious. You wouldn't be desperate. You would be calm, authoritative, and assured. God wants you to inhabit that posture now. The final directive is this: act as if the prayer is already answered. If you believe you are chosen to heal, start healing the people around you with your words today. If you believe you are chosen to lead, start leading yourself with discipline today. If you believe you are chosen to create wealth, start managing your current resources with the respect of a millionaire today. We are moving into a time where the chosen are being called to the front lines. The world needs your stability. It needs your Michael cylinder of peace. It needs your intolerance for inauthenticity. You are not just a survivor of your life. You are the architect of the new earth. I want you to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start saying, I am ready for what is happening for me. This shift in perspective is the key that unlocks the door. The pruning was necessary. The silence was necessary. The isolation was necessary. It was all training. And now, the training wheels are coming off. I want to leave you with a challenge. I don't want you to just watch this video and scroll to the next cat video. I want you to seal this contract with the divine. I want you to go to the comment section below and make a declaration. This is not for the algorithm. This is for your own psychology. Writing it down makes it physical. It pulls it from the ether and grounds it in reality. I want you to write, I accept my assignment. I am ready. Read that again. I accept my assignment. I am ready. When you type those words, imagine you are signing a contract with your highest self. You are telling the universe, I see the signs. I trust the protection. I am moving forward. I will be reading your comments. I will be witnessing your declarations. We are in this together, a legion of light bearers waking up at the same time. Your time is now. The wait is over. Walk in your purpose.